Thanks for joining us for this exclusive interview with the new Ooni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwose Ojaja II, the heir apparent to Oduduwa, Arule Oodua. My name is Adetunji Adeteye, and I have with me my colleague Ibrahim Alege. Together, we'll conduct this interview. Ibrahim, good to have you here.
And of course, it's my pleasure to be part of this historic moment because it's the official first interview with the new Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwose, shortly after his coronation.
Yes, historic is said, and of course, it is historic because for more than a week now, the coronation activities have been ongoing here in Ile-Ife, and it is also our pleasure to welcome the Kabiyesi to TBC News. Kabiyesi, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So I think we should just start with the coronation. How did you feel about yesterday?
Well, first of all, I want to thank my Creator, God Almighty, who is the King of Kings, for making the day to be very successful. We had a lot of people, but upon all, God actually made it to be very successful. And I'm very happy that indeed it's a new dawn for Ile-Ife. It's a new dawn for Osun State. And it's indeed a new dawn for the entire Yoruba land and Nigeria as a whole. I'm very excited again that it's not all about me. It's not about me becoming Ooni of Ile-Ife. It's about the change that will take place afterwards, especially towards the youth of this country.
Now, Kabiyesi, immediately after your name was announced as the new Ooni of Ife, we spoke with your father, and he told us about a certain premonition your grandfather had about you. Can you please enlighten us more about this?
Well, I wasn't alive then. I heard the story that my birth was actually predicted, that a certain child will come to the family at a particular time in the afternoon, exactly 1 p.m., and so many child and a lot of children that are in the family were born, and you usually get premonition and prediction, but this was very specific, 1 p.m. at a particular day, and to the glory of God, it actually happened on a Thursday, 1 p.m., 17th October 1974. And when I was born, immediately my grandfather sent a name to my father and my mother, my late mother of blessed memory, that this is the particular name they should give to me. And that time, another incident happened. I lost my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, in Ile-Ife. It happened in Ile-Ife as well. So my mother didn't really have time to look after me. A lot of incidents, a lot of things actually happened when I was given birth to. As a result, I was actually not really looked after, despite the fact that the prediction was actually intact. But to the glory of God, I survived. The first 11 days, according to my late mother, she couldn't even attend to me. But God actually made me to survive it. Till today, there's some certain things that I still do that my mother, late mother, told me. And it was because she couldn't attend to me the first 11 days. She named me and my father Enito. My grandfather named me Ade Toye Oye, meaning Adeyeye. They are the shortened version of the name. And both families from Ile-Ife, from Ogunwusi family and Sojiokpa family, came together and said their ancestors are back. So they gave me another name called Babatunde. So my three names are very peculiar. So to the glory of God, I've been a very peculiar child ever since I was born. But like I said earlier on, the King of Kings made me to survive all the rigors, and I thank God for today.
Kabiyesi, that is indeed a big exposition, because this is now beyond the premonition. Every other person would want to know why you vied for the position, because we understand that it was keenly contested for. We saw it.
Well, I used to tell people when I was growing up that I don't walk alone, that I have some spirit, guiding angels around me. I think I have 4. You know, when you're saying things that people are not saying, people will probably think you're talking out of place. Maybe something is wrong with you. But they've been guiding me all my life. In everything I do, my words, my thoughts, my actions, my deed. And it's been a very challenging life for me. A lot of people that know me very well will tell you that I've always been very peculiar in the things that I do. I do things out of the ordinary. At a very tender age, I had a child. I started a family life at 19. It's very rare in this part of the world. And to the glory of God, I struggled very hard to take care of my child at that age. You know, you are being fed at that time. Now you have to look for how to feed people, feed a family. Afterwards, I started business very early. And I've always been very daring. I'm not afraid of anything. I don't get afraid. I don't get easily swayed by anything. So that has really helped me. And I believe in faith a lot. Because I've always had it at the back of my mind that there is an innermost spirit in me that is always guiding my step. I've always been a very unassuming child, but at the end of the day, I usually come out to excel. So when the contest started, I just prayed to God. I said, God, it's not by my might nor by my power. I want to go for this. If it's going to be for me and myself and my immediate family alone, don't let it happen. If it's going to effect change in Ile-Ife, because I know the story of Ife very well. I'm a student of history. I like history a lot. If this throne will make me to effect change in the entire kingdom of Ile-Ife, kingdom of Yoruba land, and the entire nation, Nigeria, and the entire world, let it happen. I'm okay with the little business that I've been able to develop. But if it's going to be for me alone, don't let it happen. But I will go for it.
Kabiyesi, you were eventually picked. The day you came into Ile-Ife, how did it feel?
I felt peace that day. That was the day the entire life that I've been living was completely turned around. That I'm at peace. I'm starting a new life. This has always been my saying in life. Power of imagination. That's my mantra. I say it a lot. I imagine things a lot. And I bring it to reality and I go for it. I don't believe in failure. To me, it's all about challenges. There's nothing like failure in my dictionary. What's the meaning of failure? Try it. If it doesn't work, that's not failure. You must have learned one or two things. Then you forge ahead and see how to make it better. That very fateful day, I was at peace, like I said, power of imagination. And another saying that has always been in my mind and in my heart and my action is, give me a place to stand and I will move the world. That day, indeed, it sank that God has answered my prayer.
Talking about the power of imagination, did you imagine that huge turnout yesterday? I was able to talk to people from, I call them your subjects now, from far away Delta. We have Yoruba speakers there, those who speak Yoruba there, some parts of Edo State, some parts of Kogi. Did you at any point in time imagine that kind of turnout, owing to the fact that civilization has actually separated, has actually created a boundary, and not everybody wants to really come back to the source, which is Ile-Ife? Did you imagine that kind of turnout yesterday?
I said something earlier. Our Creator doesn't start something that it will not finish completely. Our God is a complete God. Anything that God has his hand in, God will complete it. The turnout, yes, I expected it and it happened. The only thing I've been doing is I've been praying about it, that it should come in peace, not in pieces. Because everything in the country now is very sensitive, but God has been very helpful to Ile-Ife for us to have hosted such a huge crowd. And not only yesterday, if you've been following, we've been having crowd in Ile-Ife over the last 6 to 8 weeks. The very first day I came in, over 8 weeks ago, the crowd was a lot. Everybody came from even the suburb towns surrounding Ife. The day I came out of seclusion, which is called Ilofi, the crowd was a lot. And the day I took that ultimate crown, Ari crown, the crowd was the crowd during the day I took the crown was a lot. So the one for the grand finale that happened yesterday, we expected it, but God took charge. A complete King of Kings that has never done anything without completing it took charge, and it went well.
Now, still talking about your triumphal entry into Ile-Ife, something must have stricken your mind that these people are all out just because of me. Something must be in your mind. That how do I compare these people? What was actually in your mind?
You know, I mentioned earlier on that I'm a man of faith. I like challenges a lot. I like to do impossibilities, turning impossibilities to possibilities, power of imagination. So I wasn't afraid that day. And my another common slogan, anybody that knows me will tell you, I started selling it to the entire Ife indigenes. Otisheche. Those were the words in my mouth that day. I kept telling everybody, Otisheche, 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 all the way. And it's a household phrase in the entire Yoruba Ile-Ife now.
Okay, Kabiyesi, Otisheche, it has been made possible. A colleague even said, yes, we can. And it can be likened to the slogan for President Obama's yes, we can during the elections, during his elections. Now, with the Otisheche slogan that you have come up with, and which I already heard, and I know is on the lips of almost everybody in Ile-Ife, what are the master plans? What is the strategy?
Okay, first and first, I'm not a politician by trying to liken me to Obama. I am just a progressive-minded person that, you know, I pray to support our great leaders, just support them as a traditional ruler to make the life of our people better. So my Otisheche slogan, very simple. The master plan, very simple. My background, I don't talk the talk, I walk the walk. It has always been I am a very practical person. Otisheche is very simple. There is abject poverty in the land. So the clear master plan is set. Is set as an SET. And what does that mean? In the entire Ile-Ife, Ife Kingdom, we're set socially, which stands for the S, by bringing modernity to the tradition that has been there for millions of years. You have to blend it well now. We're set there for our social upliftment, and it is working right now. If you go to social media, things that are hidden many years ago, we'll try and let the world know that it's even an economic benefit. It's to the advantage of a country for people to know our heritage, for people to know our cultural background, for people to know all over the world what we have in stock. So socially we're set. The next one is letter E. We are set again economically. Ile-Ife is so blessed that you can't even imagine. I'll give you a practical example. You know, I told you earlier on I'm very practical. Somebody came to me and said, he has gold beads for me, coated in gold coated beads from Paris, and brought it to me with a very high amount of money. And I said, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to buy. And I'm not going to wear it. Even if you give me for free, I wouldn't wear it. I'm so sorry. I will wear the one made either in Ife or in Nigeria. That's how I am. It's a policy. I said, where are you going to get it? And I smiled to that person. I said, go back memory lane. Our forefathers, our ancestors, they are specialists in making beats, and nobody can beat it till tomorrow. They go as far as to the depth of the ocean to actually get it out. And I said, I'm going to go back to that culture. The likes of shaggy beads, and all what have you. And I'll blend it. I'm happy to tell you what I'm wearing now is made from part Benin, part Ile-Ife. And again, you will see the one there, gold. Nigeria is so blessed, you can't even believe it. We have gold in Southwest, Elisha, Ife, in abundance. I just told the miners, please, I need something. And I went there. To be precise, I went to Mokuro in Ife. And we took out the gold. And we took it to Goldsmith. Because I'm an industrialist, like I told you. I like to improve on things. And I told them the way they can even start to refine gold better in Nigeria. And to the glory of God today, I'm wearing a 24 karat gold made in Ile-Ife and Elisha boundary. And I'm wearing beads made in Benin and Ife as well. I can't get it all, but we'll be doing it on a gradual basis. The staff that I'm holding is made in Ife. The cap I'm wearing is made in Ife. I am that particular to the extent that the soap that I'm using to have my bath now is made in Ife. So economically, we have to lead by example. The chair I'm seated on is made in one of my factories in Lagos, which we are bringing to Ife. So if we lead by example, we will not become what we are in Nigeria now. We're not a productive economy. We are only consuming. So much pressure on dollar. Dollar now is getting to 245 because we don't even appreciate what we have. Tell me if this is not okay. We might not be perfect what I'm wearing, but someday it will be perfect. So if we can start that, it's not that everything I'm wearing is 100% made in Nigeria, but at least 60% of what I'm wearing is made in Nigeria. We have 60%, is that not almost towards distinction? Mm-hmm. The chair I'm seated on is made in Nigeria. I'm proud to say that. So economically, it's painful. Like I told you, my background, I build houses, I build homes, and I have a lot of factories, small-scale factories. And I see the way our youths are struggling. It's painful. I have a lot of friends from the eastern parts. I like them, very industrious, very energetic young people. Like me, I'm a young man too. They will manufacture lights, bulbs, and they will put made in China, made in Taiwan there. And I'll ask them, and they will tell me, oh boy, nobody go buy ammo if you put made in Nigeria. It's always very painful to me. And I will tell them that, don't worry. All my sites, they know me for that. I've been doing it for many years. Anything that made abroad, I don't like it. It's not as if I don't like the economy abroad. But we're robbing ourselves of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So, to the glory of God, I'm a first-class king today. So everything I wear, everything I do must showcase this country. So, immediately I was announced, the Igbos in Alaba, they were so excited because they know me. They are so happy that at least I can speak on their behalf for some certain things. Because if it's only me encouraging them, it won't be enough. We must be as many as possible to encourage them to keep producing. So there won't be too much pressure on dollar. The economy can now come up.
The
So
last thing
the
is
last
in
one.
the set.
The last,
I will tell you, I'm following my thought process very well.
Okay, sir.
Then the last one, we are set again traditionally. A lot of people were very cynical and very worried that young man coming to this throne, we're going to lose all the values of our tradition. How is it going to happen? But I thank God today, you know, like I said, anything that is guided by God, God completes it. Absolutely. I am the chief marketing officer of our tradition. It's so rich. I am so happy that I'm even exposed. I am so enlightened about our tradition that is fizzling out. If not because you appeal to me, I don't even want to speak English. Because we're losing that value. If somebody should speak English now, they will say, oh, very good English. But if the person should speak Yoruba now and speak very conk Yoruba, they will say, oh, why are you speaking conk Yoruba or speaking conk Igbo or Hausa? But when you don't know how to speak English, it's a bad thing. They will just write you off in the society as if you are nobody. It's very wrong. We're losing our tradition. Most children that we, the younger generation, are giving back to now, most of them, they don't even understand English. They don't understand Igbo. They don't understand Hausa. Maybe in another 60, 80 years, we might not be hearing of this language again.
Yeah.
Fine, there's a common language, English, but we shouldn't lose our traditional and cultural values. It's very important. So for that last set, letter T, I can spend the whole day talking about it. So let's
this is enlightening. This is really enlightening. And looking at the three plans, the three keywords, you trying to reposition Ife land, and I understand the fact that Ile-Ife, yes, not Ile-Ife.
No.
Okay, so we will correct that. It's Ile-Ife and not Ile-Ife. Socially, economically, and traditionally. Now, we understand you have a master plan too. A particular city. You want to see a modern Ile-Ife city. You probably want to tell your subjects and the viewers out there about it.
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier on, I don't talk the talk, I walk the walk. Again, we've started. Look, in Ife now, Ife Kingdom, which is called Ile-Ife, we've received a lot of guests all over the world. As far as United States of America, from Oyotunji. Oyotunji is a town in North Carolina being controlled by the Ooni of Ife. Ooni of Ife usually crown the king there. As far as visitors from Brazil, Cuba, it was because we had too many people, so we couldn't speak to everybody. As far as the Republic of Benin, land of Ghana, as far as Trinidad and Tobago, they all came to experience today because they believe that's where they came from. And they can easily trace their history back to this place, Ile-Ife. So, the question is, how is it like that? What I will tell you is, it's very important for us to know that anytime you want to implement something, do it within the confines of wherever you are governing over. If you want to govern a state, have you governed your house well? If you want to govern a community, what have you done in your little corner? So with that, we had a lot of problem to receive visitors. So we don't have ample accommodation. In fact, people went as far as Ibadan, Ilesha, Ede, all over to lodge. And I'm a tourism expert. That's one of the things that I do. I just said to myself, we need to build another resort. We built one in Lagos, in Agbe Grand Resorts and Leisure. I'm always very proud to say it. It's not 100% perfect, but it is 100% Nigerian. Everything there is made in Nigeria, 100%. I'm very happy. And when people go there, they're always very excited for this country. What I did, that is like a plug and play for me. So I decided to start another project that is 10 times bigger than that one. So it will be one of the biggest resorts in the whole of West Africa. Even, in fact, Africa as a whole. And you know, as God will have it, this land is so blessed. Everything on that land, the wood, the palm tree, the sand, they are all material for our production. So all what we need to do is, I've already assembled routine of youths in Ife. We have over 3,000 youths working there on daily basis now. Over the last 4 weeks. And I'm very happy we made history. His Eminence, Sultan of Sokoto, was with me to just support, because he plays a very active role in the north as the northern leader. He came. He was the one that flagged it up, and the group managing director of First Bank, because they know what I've been able to do in the past. So the beauty of it is we have our youth engaged already from the master plan. It's not as if we're talking about it. We've started. And it is having a positive effect on the town. The area commander in charge of Ife came to thank me. I said, why? He said, the crime rate in Ife has dropped. That is fulfillment for me. And that's one of the reasons why God has actually made me to be on the throne. So the major master plan, it's unfolding on a gradual basis. So rebuild another city, new Ife city, name it with the old street, but put new there. Like Lagere, put new Lagere Road. Iremo, put new Iremo. Just everything new. So that the old city, we will not touch it. Make it very monumental. Because Ife has so much strong history. Then we will now bring out all our tourism potentials. People can now roam they can stroll to the old city, take pictures, visit all those monumental sites. Then the people will encourage more people to live in the new city. The old city will be just for shopping, restaurant, strip malls, pictures, to learn about Oduduwa, the land of Oduduwa.
Wow.
That's the
plan. Such a huge plan for Ile-Ife. And
Ile-Ife.
Such a huge plan for Ile-Ife and Yoruba land. But we'll take a short break now. We've been having an interview, a one-on-one exclusively with the Ooni of Ife, Arole Oduwa, the heir apparent to the father of the Yorubas. We'll take a short break now and return. Thanks for staying with us. We're still having the exclusive interview with the Ooni of Ife, Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi. He has told us about some of his master plan for Ile-Ife. And of course it is Ile-Ife, the land of Ife, not Ile-Ife. Of course it is also the home of the Yorubas, the source of creation. And that's why we have decided to have this interview with the Kabiyesi, because of course it was inaugurated and handed over the official staff of office on Monday. Kabiyesi, it's really good that you're doing this with us, and I'm very sure many of your subjects out there and your friends and even friends of the Yoruba race are also still interested in hearing from you. But Ibrahim, you have a question.
Yeah, Kabiyesi, yesterday when you were addressing the people, you were specific about the youth of Ile-Ife.
Ile-Ife. I need to correct the word today. Yes. It's a good opportunity.
Yes, Ile-Ife. And people are saying because you are very young, that's why you are targeting the youth. Can you tell us more about this?
Okay. Let me first of all correct the issue about Ile-Ife that people say. It's not Ile-Ife, it's Ile-Ife. Ile-Ife is Yoruba, and what it means is land of expansion. That's the meaning. Ile-to-nfe. That's the meaning. So people just call it Ile-Ife. No, it's not Ile-Ife. It's Ile-Ife, land that is expanding. And well, people still say it's a myth. That's source of mankind, and it keeps expanding. It keeps expanding, and we've had 3 in terms of series of people have in terms of habitation in Ife. The first one, Ife Oyi. The first one is Ife O. Sorry, the first one is Ife O Dai. The second one is Ife Oyi Lagbo, and the third one is Ile-Ife. Like I said, that's another explanation for another day. It's very interesting, but it's actually, to some extent, proving that it's source of mankind. Even the Western world, they know. They are doing thorough research about it. This is where all mankind came from. Then concerning the youth, anywhere in the world, if you don't consider the youth, it's always a problem. They're the engine room of everything. Ideas, innovation, activity, it's important. And I'll tell you why. It's very simple. They're in the middle. Both the young, as in the teenagers, and the old. They draw their hand from those two sides. So they are the bridge. If you're a youth, you must have dependents. You must have dependents. So that's the only class of mankind that have dependents. If you are young, from age 1 to like age 10 or 12, what kind of dependent people you would depend on your older one for everything? If you are from 80 to like 100, you have to depend on the younger one, because at that time you are getting useless. You have to just rest. Useless in the sense that you can't be active again. You need to be resting. But the people in the middle are the youth. They must fend for the people that are just coming up and they are older ones. So more recognition should be given to the youth. It's very important. It's so important. So I dedicated the throne to the entire youth. Remember, I said earlier on that I have a deal with God that if I'm going to the throne just to serve myself and my immediate family, God should not make it happen. But if truly I am going to get, because it was keenly contested, like you said, if truly it will happen, then that means my prayer has been answered. Give me a place to stand and I'll move the world.
Give me a place to stand and I'll move the world. That's a strong one from Kabiesi, the Arole Oodua. Of course, we will allow Kabiesi, who is also the custodian and the promoter of the Yoruba culture, to also communicate with us, talk to us in the mother tongue. He told us that we just have to keep the language running. We just have to continue to speak Yoruba language. Kabiesi, báwo kí ni àwọn Yorùbá yín, kí ni àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tẹ́ ṣetán láti gbé láti rí wípé ilẹ̀ Ifẹ̀, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lápapọ̀ ní àjọṣepọ̀ tó dán mọ́rán láàrin, àbí ìbéèrè mi ó jẹ́ pé kí ni ìgbésẹ̀ tẹ́ fi ṣetán láti gbé láti rí pé àjọṣepọ̀ tó dán mọ́rán wà láàrin àwọn ìlú káàkiri tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni, inú mi dùn pé Ọlọ́run ló yàn mí sí ipò yìí, mo tún wá jẹ́ ọ̀dọ́. Gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa nígbà tí mo jẹ́ ọmọ ọba, wọ́n ti bí irú mi lọ́mọ, wọ́n ti bí ẹni tó jù mí lọ lọ́mọ. Àdúrà tí mo ṣe sọ, gbogbo òbí láyé yìí ló máa ń gbàdúrà ipe kí ọmọ mi kí ó tó mi kó tún jù mí lọ. Àdúrà kò sí òbí tí ò ń gba àdúrà yẹn tó Ọlọ́run tó wá kẹ́ wọn ó kẹ́ gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà lu. Ìgbà tí mo jẹ́ ọmọọba mo jọmọ wọn, Ọlọ́run wá fi mí sí ipò bàbá, ṣùgbọ́n èmi ò ní gbàgbé ipe mo jẹ́ ọmọ fún wọn rí ní ìgbà kan. Tó bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé mo jẹ́ bàbá nísìn, Ọlọ́run ló ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. So kí ni mo ṣe? Ọlọ́run mú rọrùn fún mi, mo wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí lọ bá gbogbo àwọn bàbá yẹn pé ẹ̀yin bàbá mi ẹ wá o. Àgbájọwọ́ òun la fi ń sọ̀yà, ẹsẹ̀ yín ni máa dì mú o, gbogbo yín ẹ bá bú mi kò sí wàhálà, bọ̀ máa di ẹsẹ̀ yín mú torí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa, torí kí gbogbo ẹ̀ bá lè máa lọ. Inú mi dùn lónìí láti kọ́kọ́ sọ pé nínú ilẹ̀ Ifẹ̀ ogun wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ láti ọdún tó ti pẹ́. Kí ni mo ṣe? Ifẹ̀ Mọdákẹ́kẹ́, kò sẹ́ni tó gbàdúrà ogun, torí ẹni tó bá mọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ogun kò lè mọ̀ ìparí ẹ̀. Kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ òpin ogun, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kógun jà wá o. Mo wá ní kò sógun mọ́, kò sọ́tẹ̀ mọ́.
Jájá fìdí ọ̀tẹ̀ jálẹ̀.
Ládìá.
Torí ó wà nínú oríkì àwọn bàbá tó bí mi, àwọn bàbá ńlá bàbá mi. Èmi ò já ogun o.
Ẹkùn ọmọ gíẹ̀sì.
Ládìá.
Ìrẹ́pọ̀ ni mo wá fún. Kò sọ́gà pé ìwọ lọ̀gá, ìwọ ni bàbá gbogbo, ìwọ ni iye. Kò sọ́gà, kò sí tó ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Kò sí bàbá, kò sí oníkálukú wà ní ààyè ẹ̀, torí pé ìlú máa ń fẹ̀ sí ni, àdèmá máa mọ́júra wa lọ ní. Ìlú Amẹ́ríkà ibi kan ṣáà ti wá tọ́lọ́ tó fi ṣe wọ́n fi ṣe lórí gbogbo àgbáláyé. Wọ́n jọmọ fáwọn kan tẹ́lẹ̀ nílùú Europe, so èwo wá ní ká máa sọ́pọ̀ ga ni wá ní bàbá. Mo máa di ẹsẹ̀ àwọn bàbá yẹn. Mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, mo ti ń bá gbogbo wọn sọ̀rọ̀. Mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé gbogbo wọn ń fà mí mọ́ra. So mo kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ilẹ̀ Ifẹ̀.
Ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ọdún rìn bí òṣùpá.
Torí ilé la ti ń kẹ̀ṣọ́ ròde. Àwọn Mọdákẹ́kẹ́ má jẹ́ ajamọ́ afárá àti gbogbo ìgbèríko. Àkọ́kọ́ yanjú yẹn, Ọlọ́run ṣe yẹn. Mo wá kúrò, mo wá ń lọ sílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Gbogbo àwọn àgbàlagbà Yorùbá, àwọn àgbààgbà wa àti gbogbo lọ́balọ́ba Yorùbá pátápátá ni mò ń kàn sí. Èkìtì, Ọ̀ṣun, Ọ̀yọ́, Oǹdó, Ògùn títí dé ilẹ̀ Kwara ni mò ń ẹjọ́ o, ẹ má jẹ́ àjàmọ́, àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà.
Okay, Agbajo Lafisaya. That's a good one from the Imperial Majesty, the Kabiyesi Ooni of Ile-Ife, Oba Enitan Ogunwose. A big one from him, and of course he wants peace and unity to continue to reign in Yoruba land, in Ile-Ife, between Ile-Ife and its neighbors, and of course Yoruba land. It's been an exclusive one, a very interesting and a good exposition. We've learned so many things, especially after the coronation. I'm very sure my colleague here, Ibrahim, also has been able to hold on to new things, and I'm sure you have also held on to something.
Of course, we'd have loved to continue, but because of time, we must thank Kabiyesi for granting us this audience. Thank you very much, Kabiyesi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And thank you also for staying with us on TVC News. Till some other time, I remain Adetunji Aditya.
My name is Ibrahim.
Bye for now.
Allah, sir.